wore them, well, then everybody, you know, all these rich people started wearing them. Oh, look at me, I'm important. You know, it's funny. Out of the ministry, one of the things I did was I was a realtor. And talk about image. You know, everybody in the real estate office would come and tell me, oh, you need to get a Lexus. People won't take you seriously if you're not driving a BMW. If you really want to sell houses, you got to drive a Mercedes. But you know what? That's the way it is. This world, our country is all about image, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
You know, you don't know that anywhere as you know that in Los Angeles.
Right.
Man, LA is all about image. I would see people driving $80,000 cars pulling up to a studio in the ghetto. Because that's where they live. You know, they were car poor all the way. It's all about image. You know, I gotta have the blue Nikes to go with this outfit, and the yellow Nikes to go with that, and I gotta have the orange ones to go with this. And it's like, it's all about image. You know, there's something wrong with it when it becomes all about image. Now, an apology. I actually got to apologize. Again, a couple people came to me. They were very unhappy with how, or they came to Sarah as well, but how even this whole hope, if you go to the website, for whatever reason, they had your name and the amount that you gave.
Yeah.
And we couldn't change that. I was like, that's weird. I didn't like that. I apologize to the church for that. When we do it next year, we are definitely not doing it that way. Because, one, that's nobody's business. You know, and we're doing things as a group.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not about one person over another. And you know what? None of that stuff matters. It really doesn't. That was something that was on their program, and they dealt with. Somebody wrote that program for them, and that's how the world does things, though. And so they used a program that was built for different nonprofits in the world. And you know, that's how the world does things. We gave this much, and we want our name, and we want our brick in the ground, and we want our brick in the, you know, in the zoo, and make sure that people know who did this. You guys, that's not who we are. I hope you believe better about the church and even about Poland. You know, that was a snafu that is just horrible. And I personally apologize, because I know that we're not trying to draw attention to ourselves. Amen? Now, the second warning is the person who loves the attention of others. They love to be greeted in the marketplace. And we love, you know, a lot of times we love the attention of others. Name dropping. Ooh, we love name dropping, don't we? I'm going to tell you something in a very humble way. I introduced Carrie as one of our best friends because that's who she is. She sings for Smokey Robinson. She's a background singer for Smokey Robinson. Yeah. I had an opportunity to go to a concert last night. I did. And I brought Ron and Linda Cox with me from Triangle. Ron, it's always, always, always been his dream to go to a Smokey concert. He's never been to one. You know, so I was able to bring him to the Smokey concert, and Carrie was gracious enough to bring us backstage and introduce us to Smokey. That was really cool. You know, and I'd met him before, and it's, you know, he gave me a big hug, and he gives everybody big hugs, not like it's a big deal. Now, I say all that to say this. You know, that half of the room has no clue who Smokey Robinson is. Okay, and you know what? They're all going, you know, this whole half of the room goes, ooh, Smokey Robinson. But I'll be honest with you. Another thing Carrie said is, if you knew Smokey the way I knew Smokey, you wouldn't go, whoa, Smokey Robinson! And he's not a bad guy. Not in, he's just a guy. You know, but the funny thing is in our lives, a lot of times we do things to get the attention of other people. And we love that attention. We love somebody to say, "Ooh, you're great," or "Ooh, I really like this," or "Man, you're pretty," or "Ooh, I like this," or you guys, you know what? Jesus warns us against that. We can't be like that as disciples of Christ. The third warning. They love the positions in the synagogues. You know what? People who love position, you got to be careful of that. Because it's not about position. It's not about a role or a title or a place that you get to. Now, the Bible does say that desiring to be an elder is a noble thing. Okay, that's great. But man, I tell you what, when you get into that position, in the kingdom, the higher up you go, the more work you do. And now I'll say this, some of you should be more worried about position because we need more help. But position for position means nothing. It doesn't. It means nothing. And Jesus warns us about people like that. The next one is the widow. What they would do is with a widow, they would say, okay, she's been widowed. And all these people in the synagogue would start giving. Because they want to take care of the widow. So they would give and they would give and they would give. And then the Sadducees or the Pharisees, whomever was in charge, what they would do is say, well, now, you know, part of this is for God. And now part of this is for us because we are the administrators of the fund. And then part of this will be for taking care of her in the future. And then we'll give her this much. Wow is right. They literally destroy their house. Destroy the widow's home. That's what it's talking about. The warning is against people who use others. People who use others. We've all been in that situation, haven't we? We've been used by people. Yeah. And I think we can honestly all say we've used others. And that can't be our goal in life. That can't be our heart. Using people for personal gain it's very low, honestly. It's heartless. And Jesus wants us to give our heart to people. The last one is the hypocrite. The lengthy prayer. As if that means anything. We will not get away with anything because, as we all know, God knows. God knows. And I think right now, the challenge I would give the church is we all need to be more like Christ in His boldness, in the way that He went after things. I know that as we speak, there are people that you need to talk to. There's someone in your family that you need to challenge. There's someone at work that you've been meaning to have a tough talk with, and you just need to have that tough talk. There's someone in your dorm or in a class that, man, you need to share your faith with them and to challenge them on their life. There's someone that you're looking across the room at right now that you go, oh yeah, that's the person I've been meaning to have a talk with. I challenge you to talk with them. Be more like Christ. Don't let these things slide. Have the heart of Christ to get in the middle of the synagogue and to challenge somebody's belief system. Have the boldness of Christ. To not care about the outcome, but only to care about the truth. Right. Have the sensitivity of Christ. To love the person enough to share with them in a loving way. You know, because I know a lot of, oh yeah, Dave, he's involved in me. You and I have to talk. Ah! You know, I don't do that, okay? But say, you know what? We have some things that we should probably discuss. I got some things on my heart. I'm sure you have some things on your heart. Because it's never one-sided. Just always remember that. It's never one-sided. I don't want us to turn into the Pharisees that Jesus warns everybody against. It's so easy to do. Those traps are easy traps to fall into. He warns us, but in the very next chapter then, teaches us how we should be living with the widow and her offering. And that's the next thing that we deal with. Amen.